When you're good and you're playing at an all-star level like Jalen Brunson is, it's going to be hard for other people not to take notice. However, I couldn't even predict what was going to happen next because after the game last night where the New York Knicks destroyed the Brooklyn Nets in that fourth quarter, we saw Shaquille O'Neal come on air and give an elite comparison to Jalen Brunson, basically calling Brunson one of the best players he's seen since Allen Iverson. We're going to break down exactly what he said today and so much more. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Shaquille O'Neal makes a comparison for Jalen Brunson to Allen Iverson, one of the best point guards in the entire NBA from my lifetime. And Shaq is going on air and comparing Jalen Brunson because of the way he plays, the way he can score, and his size to Allen Iverson. Before I comment on this, let's play you exactly what Shaq had to say about Jalen Brunson. Roll it.
You know, I chose Brunson. There was talk about smaller guard and him not being able to carry a team. But he's a bad mofo, shut your mouth.
Yes, he is. Yes.
And he plays great ball, so I wanted to give him the nod. Donovan Mitchell will also be there. He's also playing great, but, you know, I haven't seen a small guy do whatever he wants to do since Iverson. So I like Brunson.
I haven't seen a little guy do that since Allen Iverson. So I'm going with Brunson. Shout out to Shaquille O'Neal, NBA legend, former NBA champion, obviously with the TNT NBA at Night sports crew. And I really appreciate him giving these comments about Brunson because he didn't have to say this. NBA legends, NBA players, former players, NBA insiders, and reporters, all of the like, have recently come out in the last few weeks and have gave Jalen Brunson, the New York Knicks, Tom Thibodeau, Leon Rose, a lot of the Knicks front office, a lot of credit and a lot of flowers. Not only for the roster construction, not only for signing Jalen Brunson, not only because of what Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are doing for this Knicks team, but also just the leader that Jalen Brunson has been, what he's meant to this Knicks team, and how much he's helped change the culture of this team as soon as he was added to this roster. And I think as of last year, we saw him coming into his own and really gaining the team and owning that team. This year, we finally see what the New York Knicks look like after a full year of Jalen Brunson. And now we know this is Jalen Brunson's team. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you want to know who's the leader, if you want to know whose team this is, you don't have to look any further. It's Jalen Brunson. Now, Julius Randle, he's a strong voice in the locker room. He is one of the leaders on the Knicks, but he is not the leader. That player, that right, that role is reserved for Jalen Brunson. And it's not a knock to Julius at all. But when you see the level of play that Jalen Brunson does, when you see how he talks to his teammates, how loud he is out there, he's small for his size, but not small for his game. He plays bigger than his game would let you know, and he uses his body better than most guards I see in the NBA today to make sure he gets to the line, gets contact, and shoots those free throws. And he's small at his size and is taking charges. He's one of the best guards in the league at taking charges, getting contact, using his footwork and his body to make sure he creates chaos in the paint and gets to the line. That's what you get from Jalen Brunson. Last year, he was averaging a career high in points and assists. Do you know what he's doing this year? Oh yeah, the same thing. Averaging a career high in points, assists, and rebounds. He's averaging about 1 to 2 steals a game this year, and he's doing it while winning, while leading this Knicks team to victory. That's the difference. And they were talking on NBA TV and on NBA TNT about Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, and potentially who's going to start on the All-Star team. And if you're looking at the guards around the league, it's hard to say that Jalen Brunson and potentially Tyrese Halliburton won't be your starting backcourt. Now, you can make the case, obviously, for Tyrese Maxey. I'm not going to take away from anything Maxey is doing or Tyrese Halliburton is doing. Those two guys have been phenomenal for their teams. But if I'm speaking honestly here, Jalen Brunson has been phenomenal for this Knicks team. He is the main reason why this Knicks team is winning, why their game's over 500, why they look legit, why they look like a legit contender in the Eastern Conference right now without making any upgrades. You can make the argument today that if the Knicks, presently constructed, continue to operate, work, and win like this headed into the playoffs, that they can make a deep playoff run, potentially headed to the Eastern Conference Finals of the playoffs. I think we all can see that. Now, it's going to take a little bit of luck and a lot of skill to get them from where they are now to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I think they can do that as presently constructed. If Leon Rose and the Knicks go out and get a legitimate bench piece or a legitimate star to pair with Jalen Brunson in the backcourt, then I think without a doubt, the New York Knicks are going to make noise in the Eastern Conference. They're going to be a contender for the NBA Finals, not only the Eastern Conference, but the NBA Finals. And it all depends on what player they add, how much cost they need to give up to get that player, and what they have left after trading for that player. That's what it's all going to be determined on. And I think the Knicks, given what they have on their roster, the talent, the assets, and everything they have going for them, they can absolutely make a move now to help their future and help them contend now, today, this season, in the future, and also help them make that star or superstar trade down the line if they trade for the right player. For me, you already know, that's DeJounte Murray. If he's not on the table, I'm looking at Washington, Tyus Jones, and Daniel Gafford. If I can't get them, then obviously there are a number of names that have been linked to the New York Knicks that the Knicks can go out and trade for. But at the end of the day, it's clear. The Knicks need more help off the bench to help them stabilize the offense while Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson are not in the game. Once they can do that, they're going to be a legit threat in the Eastern Conference. Right now, they're on the rise. Teams are looking at them, and teams clearly do not want to see this team. If the Knicks make another notable upgrade and they get another piece on this roster that can help their bench get better, no team in the NBA, in my opinion, is going to want to see this Knicks team over a 7-game series. And it starts with the head of the snake, like Julius Randle already put it, in Jalen Brunson. We've seen Brunson miss a couple of games for the Knicks, and we saw how the Knicks looked in those games. They needed Jalen Brunson because the way he plays basketball, his impact, and what he means to this Knicks team cannot be understated. I can say without a doubt that Jalen Brunson is likely one of the best point guards I've ever seen on the New York Knicks roster besides Walt Clyde Frazier. That's how good, that's how great, that's how impactful Jalen Brunson has been. So am I surprised to hear Shaquille O'Neal say comments like this? Am I surprised that other NBA legends, other NBA greats, other NBA insiders and reporters around the league are saying similar things about Jalen Brunson right now? No, I'm not shocked by it. I saw this last year. I saw this when he was with the Mavs. I saw it early on this season as well too, even though he was struggling. And now look, a couple of months later, Jalen Brunson looks great. He looks like an all-star. He looks like the best player on this Knicks team. He's getting his roses. He's getting his flowers. And it's all deserved because he's playing like an all-star. He's playing like a 1A player. And he's playing like a star. And dare I say it, he's knocking at the door of superstardom. That's when you do. When you play like this, you look like this, and you help your team win. And the Allen Iverson comparison, while might be outrageous, while might be a little too much, I can understand why Shaq is saying it. Jalen Brunson's size, his footwork, the way he gets into the paint, the way he uses his body, the way he scores effortlessly, all of that is AI-like. He may not be the same exact offensive player that AI is, but you know what? In this day and age, in the modern NBA, if you look around the league, one of the best player comparisons that you can make to Jalen Brunson is going to be Allen Iverson. And the reason it's easy to make that comparison is just by watching Iverson and Brunson's game. Now, while not exactly the same, because I can say Allen Iverson's crossover, I don't think anybody in the NBA today can replicate that. But in terms of game, in terms of height, in terms of scoring at will, Jalen Brunson embodies that. So for him to get that AI comparison, I'm not mad at that at all. I love what I'm seeing from Jalen Brunson. I love his impact for this Knicks team. I love the fact that he's New York's point guard today for the future, and we are not letting him go. He's on a bargain contract now, and we all better love it, experience it, and cherish it, because it's not happening again. If he continues this type of play into his final years of his contract, he is going to get a max, well-deserved contract from the New York Knicks, and nobody's going to say anything about it, because right now, he's looking like a max player. He's looking like he's playing like a max player. Shout out to DeAndre Ayton, who clearly before stated he doesn't have to say anything about himself or his game. He's a max player. No. The person that doesn't have to say anything about his game, but you know by watching that he's a max player, is Jalen Brunson. Not you, Jalen Brunson. He is an all-star this year. He's, I think, 5th or 6th in all-star voting by the fans this year. Shout out to the New York fan base for getting him in there. I voted as many times as I could. It sounds like a lot of Knicks fans did the same thing. I'm very happy to see that. The Knicks need 2 all-stars this year. And you know what? They have 2 all-stars this year. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. Those are the Knicks' 2 all-stars this year. They both deserve the nod, but I especially hope Jalen Brunson gets it. He was snubbed last year. He was robbed last year. He will not be robbed again. Jalen Brunson has been one of the best additions to this Knicks team in the better part of a decade. And the way he's playing, he looks like he's going to be one of the best Knicks signing that we've ever seen, especially at his value and the contract the Knicks have him at. It is just phenomenal to see him play basketball, watch him break down defenses, and see that footwork at play. Because when he's in work, when he's in motion, when he's focused and locked in, which is basically each and every game, he puts on a show. And it's a show that myself, a lot of Knicks fans, and now a lot of fans around the NBA just can't keep their eyes off of. Because when Brunson is on and he's going, he is a masterclass. And we saw a lot of that last night against the Brooklyn Nets. And we're going to continue seeing that for the rest of the season and into the postseason. Brunson is money. He's here to stay. He's New York's point guard. And he makes me confident and happy in saying this phrase. New York, we here. But what about you guys? What do you think about Shaquille O'Neal and his analysis of Jalen Brunson and his game? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.